Hello, and welcome to the EndNote 20 for Mac tutorial. Recently, there was an update to the interface from EndNote X9. There are a few differences between X9 and 20, and we will go over those differences, as well as how to set up an EndNote library, how to download citations from different health sciences databases, and how to use EndNote 20 within Microsoft Word. First, you can download EndNote on the university's software downloads page. It requires your link blue credentials, but once you're inside the site, you'll see EndNote listed on the home page. Choose See Downloads and select EndNote 20 for Mac, as this is now the latest version of EndNote. We will still have our tutorials up for EndNote X9, as X9 libraries are still compatible with EndNote 20. Once that's downloaded, it's time to set up the preferences. To set up the preferences, we need the PDF instructions found on the EndNote LibGuide. Let's begin on the Medical Center Library homepage. The EndNote LibGuide is found under the Guides section. Select the name of the guide, and the link will take you to the EndNote homepage. Once we're here, you'll see a few different tabs. The one we need to select is the EndNote Help and Resources tab. As you might have noticed, there are 3 PDFs that help with different aspects of using EndNote: downloading and setting up EndNote, exporting and importing references, and Microsoft Word and Cite while you write. I will be going over importing references in Microsoft Word later, but now we need to open the Download and Set Up PDF. Next, we need to open EndNote. To edit the preferences, click the EndNote 20 tab on the top left-hand side and choose the Preferences link. There is a list of tabs on the left-hand side. First, we're going to go to URLs and links and fill in the ISI base URL with the URL provided in the PDF and then hit Save. On that same list of tabs on the left, go to the Find Full Text and copy the Open URL Path URL into the box from the PDF and the Authenticate With box and hit Save. Doing this will allow EndNote to pull references that UK has access to using your link blue credentials. Next, we're going to discuss creating an EndNote library. We already have EndNote opened from the desktop, and as you might have noticed, there's no library pulled up and no citations within the library. You can only have one library open at a time within an EndNote tab. To create a new EndNote library, select the File tab on the top left-hand corner, and then select New. Save the file to your local hard drive. You do not want to save the file to a cloud, or it will eventually corrupt the file and you will lose some data. I personally like to save my EndNote libraries in the Documents folder. In addition, make sure that you're naming your EndNote library something different every time so that they are easy to distinguish between each other. Once the interface for the library is pulled up, you may have noticed that there are no references here. Before we import any citations, let's learn how to create groups in EndNote. We are going to make 4 groups based on the 4 databases that we're covering today. Right-click or double-click under Groups and select the Create Group button. It will ask you to name your group, so we're going to name this one PubMed. We're going to repeat this action 3 more times, naming our groups sequentially: CINAHL, Web of Science, and Google Scholar. Now that we have these groups, let's go back to the Medical Center Library homepage and learn how to import references from these 4 databases. Importing PubMed references into EndNote 20 is the same process as importing references into EndNote X9. Back on the MCL page, we're going to click into PubMed and type in the search diabetes. You can also use any other term if you're following along, but for the sake of the tutorial, we're just going to search diabetes in every database. There are a couple ways to import citations, the first being mass importing, which means importing more than one citation. To mass import, check the boxes for the articles you want on the left-hand side of the article. Once you have finished, go up to the top of the page and choose the Send To option. Select Citation Manager. You can choose either Selection, All Results, or All Results on this page. Since we've checked the boxes individually, we will stick to our Selection option. Finally, select Create File, and then open the download file into EndNote by going up to the top of your web browser and choosing the Downloads arrow, and then double-clicking the downloaded citation that we just created. Next, we're going to learn single citation importing. To do so, select the article that you want by clicking on its title. Once you are on the article's individual page, go back up to the top and choose the Send To option again. It will then prompt you to select Citation Manager and then create the file. You'll want to double-click on the downloaded file again from the Downloads folder, and that will open into EndNote. Finally, once you've gathered all of your PubMed citations, we're going to move them into the PubMed group we created earlier by dragging and dropping the citations one by one. You can also right-click on a citation and choose Add to Group. Next, we're going to go back to the Medical Center Library homepage and cover CINAHL. Once again, we are back on the Medical Center Library page. We're going to scroll back down to where we selected the PubMed icon and instead select the CINAHL icon. Once the database has loaded, we can go up to the search bar and type diabetes. Much like in PubMed, there are multiple ways to import citations into EndNote 20. The first way being adding multiple articles to the folder. The folder icon is on the right-hand side of the title of the article. If you select the folder icon, it will go from blue to yellow. You can do that with multiple citations for mass importing. Once you are finished, scroll back to the heading bar and select the folder icon on the top right-hand side. Once you're inside the folder, the articles that you selected earlier will be there. To export the articles into EndNote, choose the Select Deselect All button. On the right-hand toolbar, there are 4 tabs. Choose Export. Select the first option, Direct Export in RIS format. Once you select that, on the left-hand side, you will see that you can now delete the citations after you export them by choosing Remove. Hit the Save button. The download file is now in the Downloads folder. Double-click on the download to load it into EndNote. The next way to import is to import a single citation. Select any other article. To import a single citation, click into the title of the article and on its individual page under the Tools sidebar, select Export Again. The same options are listed. Choose Direct Export in RIS format again and hit Save. The download is now in the Downloads folder. Double-click on this download to load it into EndNote. Finally, we are going to move the citations to the CINAHL group. Select all of the CINAHL citations and drag and drop them into the group. This is how you import from CINAHL. Once we've added our CINAHL references to the CINAHL group, we're going to go back to the Medical Center Library page. Scrolling down, we're going to look at the left-hand side of the page underneath Selected Databases. we're going to choose the Web of Science Core Collection link. Once this page loads, I'm going to type diabetes into the search bar and run the search. First, we're going to go over how to export multiple citations from the database. We need to check the boxes on the left-hand side of the articles. Once you've selected the ones that you would like, go up to the top and then choose Export and then EndNote Desktop. There are 3 options for exporting that pop up once you've hit the Export button. Those are: you have selected X number of citations, all records on this page, and records from X to X. We will choose you have selected X citations as we have already checked the boxes. Under Record Content, choose Full Record so you can export as much information about the citation as possible. Finally, hit Export. Once again, we're going to go back up to the Downloads folder and double-click the downloaded citation. Choose the EndNote library you want your citations to open in, and it will open in EndNote. That is how to conduct mass importing. To conduct single citation importing, choose any article, and at the top of the page, there should be an Export into EndNote Desktop choice. Select that. Make sure the full record is still being exported, and then select Export. We're going to move the citations to the group. Once that's done, we are going to look at Google Scholar. Instead of going back to the Medical Center Library page, we're just going to Google Scholar. You'll see the interface also has a search bar, so we're once again going to type in our diabetes search. It looks a little bit different from our other databases, but one of the ways to import into EndNote would be choosing an article and selecting the quotation icon button. There are quite a few different citation styles listed here, but we do not need those. We're going to go to the bottom of that pop-up and select the EndNote button. Now that we've selected the EndNote button, we're going to go back to our Downloads folder and double-click the downloaded EndNote citation. It will load into the database like every other citation from the other databases. However, unlike the other databases, there is no way to mass import citations from Google Scholar. You will have to import every single citation you want to use individually. The citation we just downloaded will be the only one we download from Google Scholar. To move it into the Google Scholar group, we're going to drag and drop it. And that is how you import citations from Google Scholar. Now that all of our citations have been added to their groups in EndNote, it is time to go over some basic features. Let's click on a citation as an example. On the top right-hand corner, there are 2 viewing options, Summary and Edit. The Summary option allows you to see the citation information of the article you've selected. This is referred to as the preview. To change the way you see the citation, go to the bottom right corner and you will see different citation styles. Opening the citation, you will see Select Another Style. You can choose any citation style that you're using from this menu. You can also change the information of the citations here. If you want to change citation information, select the Edit option next to the Summary option. If you're going to edit information that you want to save, do so and then choose a different reference from the EndNote library. Doing this will prompt you to save your edits. You will have to do this with every reference that you edit as it is the only way to save. But after that, you will have an edited reference. Another important feature is how to add citations manually. we are going to go up to the topmost toolbar and under the References tab, select the New Reference option. This is the exact same process as in EndNote X9. The same tabs that are in the reference bar are in the manual reference, like title and author. If for some reason you cannot load a citation into EndNote, like if you already have the PDF, you can always manually input the information. To save, after adding the information, you are going to go up and choose the red X and select it. The same Save Prompt menu will pop up and you will select Save again. Then you will notice that your new reference has populated in the All References tab with the other imported references. Finally, if you have more than one of a reference, you can go to the Library option on the topmost toolbar and select Find Duplicates. It will prompt you to pick which reference you want to keep, and then you will delete the other one. Now we are going to go over the My Library left-hand toolbar menu options. The first being All References, which holds all imported and manually created references. The next is Imported References, which are the references that have most recently been imported into your EndNote library. There is also an Unfiled tab, which contains references that have not yet been put into a group, like the citation that we created manually earlier. In addition, you have the Trash feature. To send a citation to the trash, you right-click on the citation you want gone, and then select the Move Citation to the Trash option. Inside the Trash tab, you will see two green trash cans on the top right. The X trash can means to permanently delete the citation. The arrow trash can means to restore the citation to your references. Underneath, you have the Groups section. Opening up a group, to delete a reference from the group, you will right-click on the reference and select Remove this reference from group. Deleting a reference from a group will not delete it from the library. Underneath the Groups section, there is the Full Text section. Find Full Text shows how many articles have a full text PDF attached to them. Underneath that, we have Groups Shared by Others, which is related to EndNote Online. And finally, there's an online search feature with a few selected databases. We do not recommend using this feature as there are problems associated with it. We recommend you do your searching through our website databases and import them from there like we showed you earlier. This next topic is how to find the full text PDFs of our references, how to attach them manually, and how to edit those PDFs using the EndNote features. To find full text of a reference, double-click on that reference. Earlier, when we adjusted our preferences, we adjusted them for full text retrieval. However, you may still have to choose to authenticate before you can start finding full text. To authenticate, you will need your link blue credentials. Once that is input, move on to the next page and then hit Done. From there, you will have to right-click on the reference again and then hit the Find Full Text feature above the Authenticate button. On the left menu, where we just described, under the Find Full Text tab, you will see a few options. If the citation is currently searching for the PDF full text, it will say Searching. Then, after the search is complete, there will be three options. Either it will have found a PDF, it did not find a PDF, or it found a URL. Next, I will show you how to manually add a PDF. If we go back to our PubMed search and choose the article, Gestational Diabetes Insipidus, and go into the record. On the right, we'll click View Now UK, and it will take us to the UK Library Catalog record. Underneath the yellow bar, select the Elsevier link next to the Find Full Text. On the Elsevier page, find the Download PDF icon, select it, and then save the PDF to a folder. For tutorial purposes, I have saved mine to the desktop. From here, we're going to open EndNote again. Select the matching citation and right-click under the summary, and on the right under Summary, select Attach File and then upload the PDF you just saved. Click out of the reference to save it. This is how you attach a PDF manually. Finally, to edit a PDF, select the citation you want to edit. At the top of the summary bar, you will see a drop-down menu with a .pdf file attachment. Select it and then choose the Open option. The PDF full text will open within EndNote, and you can edit the citation by clicking on the comment box on the top left. Here, you can add highlights or notes. To save, hit the red X, and that is how you add and edit PDFs. The next EndNote feature that we will be covering is Cite While You Write, which is how EndNote connects to Word documents and inserts citations. To get to Cite While You Write, first you will have to open a Word document. If you do not have Microsoft Word, you will have to download that from the Software Downloads page to use this feature, as it does not work with Pages, the Apple version of Word. On the Word toolbar, you should see an EndNote 20 tab that looks the same as the X9 tab did. If you do not see the toolbar option, contact us and we will help you troubleshoot the problem. Unlike in EndNote X9, you can copy the citation directly from EndNote 20 and paste it into the Word document by choosing the Copy button on the summary sheet. Creating a reference list like this will not insert the references with the EndNote code, meaning you will have to manually update citations if they change in both EndNote and the Word document. To insert a citation from Word with the EndNote coding, you will choose the EndNote 20 tab, and then on the far left, select Insert Citation. Before we select this, move your cursor on your document where you want the in-text version of the citation to go, as EndNote will submit two versions. It will do the in-text citation, and it will do the reference citation. Because my Word document is blank, I am going to leave my cursor where it is. Now, on the Insert Citation button, you'll have to type in the citation you want, as it does not automatically populate with the library. Once you've selected your citation, choose Insert at the bottom. There are 5 different insert options. You can do a regular insert, insert and display as author, year, insert and exclude author, insert and exclude year, or insert and just the bibliography without the in-text citation. We are going to do a normal insert. Once you've inserted your citation, you will see the reference list was created and the in-text citation was added. To change the way you view the citation styles, go up to the Style option and choose the best fit for your project. EndNote 20 now has APA 7th edition as well. If this doesn't seem to be working for you, you may have instant formatting off. Make sure that instant formatting is on by clicking the instant formatting option and check the On button. Next, to edit citations inserted into a Word document with the EndNote coding, you have to go back to the EndNote library and edit the citation from the Edit option. If you try to edit a citation in Word, it will eventually change your edits back to the original citation. This means you also cannot delete small pieces of information from inside the citation either. This is indicated by the reference highlighting in gray. Once you've edited the citation in EndNote, you will have to update your citation in Word. To do that, choose the Update Citations in Bibliography button underneath the Style tab on the EndNote 20 tab. This will reflect the changes you've made in EndNote. We also like to note that it is important to always double-check your citation styles before submitting to the journal in case there is something going on with EndNote. This concludes the EndNote 20 tutorial for Mac. If you have any additional questions or you want to know more about sharing an EndNote library, exporting an EndNote library using XML, or other questions, please direct those to the McLib email found on the MCL homepage. Thank you for your time.